Urgent Birds fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest birds news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything Eagles. Former Eagles All-Pro visits with AFC contender at one point in his career. All-Pro cornerback KC James Bradberry was seen as one of the best free agent signings in Philadelphia Eagles history. His 2022 season helped launch the Eagles into Super Bowl LVI. He was never able to replicate that success afterwards, though. After struggling for the entire 2023 season that saw him be benched multiple times, Bradberry missed all of the 2024 campaign with injuries. Once he was healthy, he remained off the field as Philadelphia used a strong draft class to replace him. Now, as Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reports, Bradberry is looking for a new home as a free agent. Veteran CB James Bradberry is making a free agent visit to the Bills today, per source, Fowler said. Bradberry has ties to Buffalo GM Brandon Beane and HC Sean McDermott, who were with Carolina when the Panthers drafted him in 2016. Bradberry solves an immediate need for the Bills. Buffalo lost Rasul Douglas in free agency and is looking for a cheap option to replace him with, considering they have under $5 million in cap space. At 30 years old, Bradberry's playing career may be on a downward trajectory, but reuniting with McDermott could be an excellent idea for the veteran to get the most out of his career moving forward. In the case of the Eagles, releasing Bradberry, this offseason was always part of their plan. Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean have solved their secondary needs, and the team is ready to get younger. Buffalo, meanwhile, just wants to find a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Bradberry may be able to help with that. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Eagles Nation news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks! Now let's get back to the news. Eagles major trade guaranteed by ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Philadelphia Eagles are the Super Bowl champs, and that is forever. But as the NFL draft approaches, it is also yesterday's news. What about today? That's about preparations for next week's 2025 NFL Draft, work done under the guidance of General Manager Howie Roseman. And work that figures to include a trade, or two, or three. ESPN insider Adam Schefter notes accurately that Philadelphia's stockpile of draft capital seems to guarantee movement during this draft. Over the next two drafts, the Eagles are scheduled to have 20 draft picks, 20, Schefter said on his Adam Schefter podcast. They can't have 20 players make their roster. So Philly has issues, but good issues to have. They are trying to trade Dallas Goedert and Bryce Huff, too. Of course, that means the possession of more picks. The logical guess? Roseman will be looking at the idea of packaging picks to move up, maybe from the number 32 slot in round 1, and maybe all weekend. And note, Roseman has done it before. Examples? His trade for wide receiver A.J. Brown in 2022, and his 2023 acquisition of DeAndre Swift. Both examples of packaging a surplus of picks. I will guarantee right now we're going to get a trade or two out of the Philadelphia Eagles, Schefter said. I don't know for who, I don't know for what, I don't know when it will happen, but they're not going to make 20 picks in the next two drafts. That ain't happening. Dallas Goedert trade rumors Eagles. Eyeing his replacement? Dallas Goedert trade rumors are swirling as the Eagles explore draft options. Could Mason Taylor be their long-term answer at tight end? Dallas Goedert trade rumors continue to swirl, and the timing isn't random. The veteran tight end is entering the final year of his contract with a cap hit of $81 million in 2025. If the Philadelphia Eagles trade him after June 1st, they'd save approximately $4.05 million in cap space while taking on a $7 million dead cap hit. Additionally, the offseason signings of Kellen Granson and Harrison Bryant raise even more questions. As a result, it's fair to wonder, are the Philadelphia Eagles preparing to move on? Giants added to Dallas Goedert trade rumors. This offseason fueling the speculation, Jordan Raanan of ESPN reported that the New York Giants looked into trading for Goedert this offseason, a sign that teams across the league are monitoring his status. This adds another wrinkle to the ongoing Dallas Goedert trade rumors, especially with the draft approaching. Howie Roseman downplays impact on draft plans Philadelphia Eagles. General Manager Howie Roseman, however, pushed back on the idea that Goedert's contract situation would shape their 2025 NFL draft strategy. When asked if it would affect their approach, Roseman said, "It really doesn't affect the draft." In other words, the team won't reach for a tight end just because of contract timing, but that doesn't mean they won't take one if the right prospect is available. Still, despite the ongoing Dallas Goedert trade speculation, it's clear the Eagles are keeping their options open. Mason Taylor enters the conversation. That being said, one name keeps coming up: Mason Taylor. The LSU standout and son of Hall of Famer Jason Taylor is considered one of the top tight ends in the 2025 class. At 6'5", 255 pounds, Taylor blends size, athleticism, and strong football instincts. He's a polished route runner, dependable in the red zone, and capable of making tough catches in traffic. These are all traits the Philadelphia Eagles value, regardless of their current roster depth at the position. According to League Buzz, the Eagles have shown interest in Taylor during the pre-draft process, viewing him as a potential long-term fit in their offensive system, especially if they choose to move on from Dallas Goedert in the near future. However, other tight end prospects like Penn State's Tyler Warren and Michigan's Colston Loveland are projected to be selected before the Eagles are on the clock at number 32. That could push Taylor into a more realistic draft range for Philadelphia, making him one of the top names to watch late in round 1 or early in round 2. Mason Taylor by the numbers, Mason Taylor's 2024 season at LSU: 55 receptions, 546 yards, 2 touchdowns, set LSU's single-season reception record for a tight end career. Totals: 129 receptions, 308 yards, 6 touchdowns. Long-term fit amid Dallas Goedert trade. Rumors with the Philadelphia Eagles picking at number 32. Overall, Taylor could be a legitimate option, not necessarily as a direct replacement for Goedert, but as a long-term investment. Given the ongoing Dallas Goedert trade rumors, adding a high-upside tight end like Taylor could strengthen one of the league's most dynamic offenses moving forward. Trade pitch sends $51 million edge rusher from Eagles to NFC South, one of the Grimier. Aspects of NFL deal-making is that smart teams and smart executives routinely take advantage of dumb teams and dumb executives. In the NFL, there's not a smarter executive than Philadelphia Eagles general manager Howie Roseman, and there's not a dumber team than the Carolina Panthers. That might be the opening for Roseman to offload one of his rare personnel mistakes in recent years in a proposed trade that sends edge rusher Bryce Huff to the Panthers in a fairly simple move. In exchange for Huff, the Eagles should ask for one of Carolina's 3 fifth-round picks in the 2025 NFL Draft. Doesn't really matter which one. The Eagles signed Huff to a 3-year, $51 million free agent contract with $34 million guaranteed in March 2024, and watched him become a non-factor on their Super Bowl winning team. Carolina is in desperate need of another edge rusher to play opposite 32-year-old Jadeveon Clowney. Pro Football Focus listed edge rusher as the Panthers' biggest need following the 2025 free agency cycle. The Panthers still haven't figured out how to replace edge defender Brian Burns, PFF's Max Chadwick wrote on March 17th. While Jadeveon Clowney is a solid starting option, the team desperately needs to address the spot opposite him. Pat Jones II, DJ Wanham, and DJ Johnson weren't even among the 90 highest-graded edge rushers a season ago. Eagles called out for regrettable mistake. With Huff's contract made the list of Bleacher Report's most regrettable mistakes made by NFL teams in 2024 after Huff struggled with production and injuries. The Philadelphia Eagles may have buyer's remorse regarding their 3-year, $51 million pact with Bryce Huff, Bleacher Report's Maurice Moton wrote on December 30th. Last year, the defensive end recorded career highs in sacks and pressures with the New York Jets. He earned a massive pay raise but hasn't elevated or even maintained his level of performance in Philadelphia. Huff opened the season as a starter in Vic Fangio's defense, but he's played in a limited role. Huff missed 5 games in the middle of the season after undergoing wrist surgery and finished the regular season with 5 sacks after a career-high 10. 0 sacks with the Jets in 2023, Panthers staring down. Another miserable season. Carolina hasn't had a winning season or made the playoffs since 2017, and is also responsible for what could be one of the NFL's worst trades in recent memory. 2 years ago, the Panthers sent a 2023 first-round pick, 2023 second-round pick, 2024 first-round pick, 2025 second-round pick, and star wide receiver DJ Moore to the Chicago Bears in exchange for the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, where they took Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. Young is 622 as a starter through his first 2 seasons. The number 2 overall pick in that same draft, Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, has led his team to back-to-back playoff appearances in his first 2 seasons and was the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2023. ESPN Bet has the Panthers projected with an over-under win total of 6. 5 wins in 2025, just slightly up from their 512 record in 2024. And now, Birds fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Birds. I'll be back any moment with more Eagles Nation news. Fly, Eagles, fly.